Following nearly 3 years of war, the Union had failed to subdue much of the rebellious South, even with a blockade and some significant military victories. Federal forces held a few enclaves along the East Coast, all of Tennessee, and some other scattered territory. They also controlled the Mississippi River, splitting the South in two. But the bulk of Confederate territory, especially the Deep South, was untouched. The principal Southern armies in Georgia and Virginia were also as strong as ever, with no end to the war in sight. With the critical presidential election approaching, many Northerners were becoming weary of the casualties and the costs of the war. During the first few months of 1864, President Lincoln would prepare the Union Army for a renewed effort to crush Confederate forces. He appointed Ulysses S. Grant to overall command and called for another 500,000 volunteers. Federal forces would move against Robert E. Lee's army around Richmond and Petersburg and advance on Atlanta. With the primary Union efforts focused on Georgia and Virginia, Confederate forces in North Carolina went on the offensive, trying to recover some of the territory lost to Burnside's expedition. That effort was led by Major General George Pickett, who had been put in charge of the Confederate Department of Southern Virginia and North Carolina a few months after his famous charge at Gettysburg.